Hey everyone, thanks for hopping on today. We'll give everyone a few moments in case they're coming from a different call, and then we'll get kicked off and started. For those just joining, we'll get started here momentarily. Feel free to type in the chat where you're calling in from. It's always cool to see where everyone's joining us from the world today. And we'll get started here in just a moment. As a reminder, if you've registered for this webinar, we will be following up with a recording of this session in case you're coming in late. But just want to give everyone a few moments just in case they're running. And I think it's 1 minute past. We'll go ahead and get kicked off. And again, we will follow up with a session of today's recording. All right. Well, thank you again, everyone, for attending today's webinar. We're very excited to share some of this information with you. We are going to dive into the topic of how to build advanced data products, specifically around our recent Flex software development kit. We'll demonstrate this new data analytics deployment tool that will ultimately help you build your data visualizations quickly without the need of a ton of expertise or resources. Joining me as my co-host today for today's webinar is my peer François, who's a longtime veteran of Luzmo and one of our senior product managers. Some of those on the call may know me already if I've had a chance to work with you in the past, but I am a senior customer success manager here at Luzmo. And the purpose of today's webinar is to showcase a new and exciting way you can build out your data visualizations. A quick overview of today's agenda is we will be doing a brief highlights in case you are new to our Luzmo offering. We'll be diving into the why behind Flex SDK, what limitations it can help you overcome in your analytic creation needs, deeper detail behind what Flex is and how that works with our other deployment options. And then we will illustrate this information by reviewing one of our real-world client use cases along with a live demonstration to help bring it all to illustration. Finally, we will be posting a few poll questions throughout the presentation today, so please be on the lookout through those so we can all learn together, as well as you may enter your questions in the chats, and in fact, we encourage you to do so throughout the presentation. However, we will address those questions at the end during our dedicated Q&A portion. All right, let's dive in. A brief highlight of Luzmo's offering and our mission is Luzmo is an embedded analytics platform purpose-built for SaaS companies. Our mission is to make end-user analytics fast, intuitive, and embedded seamlessly into your tech stack. What makes Luzmo different from other similar providers? We are a plug-and-play solution designed to get your desired data analytics up and running as quickly as possible. Our offering provides you the ability to embed your dashboards where your viewers will find it most impactful. And our recent release of our access control layer with user-embedded tokens allows strict yet flexible permissions across your data visualizations. And of course, we offer multilingual and multi-tenancy support. And last but not least, we have an incredible support team, full team of solution engineers, and myself, along with my other customer success peers as your success advocates. Some key benefits of our platform, again, referenced before, is the speed at which we can help you launch your analytics, which will in turn increase your product's usage, while ultimately giving your organization a new revenue stream opportunity by offering premium, custom, interactable dashboards your end users will love to use. Quick shout out, we do have another webinar that's an excellent one to view on how we can help best practices to monetize your analytics. So please feel to review that on our YouTube page or reach out to your Luzmo contact for more information on that. Finally, before jumping into the new and exciting release, Flex SDK, just wanted to highlight a brief reminder of what is included in all of your packages and plans. You can, just a few highlights here, connect with our open API or custom plugin. You have the ability to create an unlimited number of dashboards. And for those that are unaware or are not using this feature, I encourage you to explore it. It's very powerful for user engagement, is mail scheduling with alerts. And of course, we are continuously updating our Academy support documentation and our extensive developer documentation. All right, now onto the exciting, the new stuff our recent release of Flex SDK. We will start off with discussing the why behind Flex, why you should care, and what limitations it can help you overcome. Before we dive in, let's first answer our first poll question. We'll be launching that here momentarily. What is your experience level with building and embedding data products into applications? Are you beginner, intermediate, advanced, or expert? We'll give everyone a moment to answer those. All right. It looks like for a large majority on the call here, or minority, I should say, we have a 39% at intermediate level and 35% beginner level, along with our data analytics experts and advanced tier 13% even between both those categories. So let's get into the why, because I think depending on where your expertise levels are with building out your data analytics, Flex is going to be something that you should consider and can be beneficial no matter which expertise level you're starting at. Up until this point, here at Luzmo, we pride ourselves on offering a low-code to no-code solution. Now, with the recent release of our Flex Software Development Kit, or SDK, we've created a code-first approach designed specifically for developers to build out your data visualizations. This developer kit gives you the pieces of code needed out of the box so you can customize your data visualizations specific to your needs. For prospective clients on the call that are at the start of your data visualization journey, Flex SDK offers the best of both worlds, surpassing the limitations of do-it-yourself chart building, as well as code-intensive front-end libraries. For our current clients on the webinar today, Flex gives you the opportunity to leverage pre-built dashboard components from Luzmo to blend seamlessly with your non-Luzmo visualizations. This new approach allows for a high degree of control and speed to build out your specific desired dashboards. A few other things of note that will allow you to do is charts can be created on the fly. This will allow for more handling of more complex use cases, again, custom to your specific needs. And again, this is a perfect toolkit designed for developers. So what limitations does Flex SDK help solve? If you find yourself running into any of the below obstacles, you may want to consider leveraging Flex. Flex will allow you to overcome standard limitations you may be encountering throughout your dashboard canvas building process. A huge highlight I've briefly mentioned before is this will allow you to combine data visualizations with other app components and raise the degree you're able to interact with those non-Luzmo components. This will also allow you to get a greater degree of granularity across access to all of your visualizations. And with this Flex SDK, it'll allow a greater degree of flexibility for your users to input information on the fly, interacting with your charts. For today, outside of our standard poll process, but referencing, I wanted to showcase some of these limitations on screen as well, but also curious for the audience today, if you would like to input in the chat, what problems can you imagine Flex SDK helping you solve for your today's data visualization needs? Wait just a moment longer. Again, I would love to just learn as a group from the audience today, and perhaps we'll have a greater idea of what we can address as we share more information in the webinar. Julian, thanks for sharing. Interaction between visuals and other app components would be a good plus. User input would be really nice. Pat, thanks for chiming in as well. Hiding filters would be a benefit to Flex SDK you can envision. Again, I think as we dive into more of the what's, as well as our use cases and demonstrations, I encourage you to share where you can think this will be most impactful, as this will be beneficial across a variety of use cases and needs. So with that, let's dive into more detail on what is Flex, how it relates to our wider offering, and then helping connect the dots and bring this all home via showcasing a use case and a live demonstration of this new excellent feature. We want to be clear, our Flex Software Development Kit is a complementary tool designed to give you an additional code-first option for your data analytics. Looking at the chart to the right illustrates the different deployment options for your visualizations. All come with their own unique benefits and uses. However, as you can see to the right, Flex is the new addition that will allow you to have the greatest degree of customization and control with a much lower barrier to entry for your coding efforts. There's no query writing needed. It's multi-tenant with chart filtering and interactivity right out of the box. Now, in just a moment, I'll pass the mic over to my colleague, François, to walk through some real-world use cases along with a live demonstration. He will also help illustrate the impact of Flex SDK depending on your role. Although this software development kit may be most interesting to developers out there, Flex can be beneficial to all roles involved in your data visualization creation process. Before we switch over, let's take a look at our next related poll question. What is your current role joining our webinar today? Are you a founder, C-level executive? Are you a product manager, software developer or engineer, data analyst, or other? We'll give everyone a few more moments to answer. So it looks like the majority joining today's call is the product manager role at 32%, founder C-level executive role at 23%, software developer at 18%, data analyst 14%, and other 14%. Now I'll switch over to my colleague François and hand the mic over to you.
Thanks, Westin. Thanks. So let me share my screen. Okay. So Does it work for you?
Yes, we can see the Flex roles and benefits slide.
Okay, thanks. So let's start from here. So thanks Westin for the presentation. That was super cool. I want to start talking about use cases by explaining a little bit also when we built Flex, we started to think about for who. So that was very important for us from the beginning, and we, as Flex is a technical product, is a code first SDK. Developers was obviously at the heart of our reflection, but we obviously wanted to build a very cool product, easy to use, with a lot of documentation and tools for developers. I will show you that in a minute. So that was very important for us, but it was not just only about developers. We also thought obviously about product managers. Product managers are interested in delivering value to their customers. And what we wanted to build with Flex is to ensure that when building a data product, they can expect a fast delivery time, and they can also build something great without many limitations. And designers, it might be weird from the beginning, because it's again, it's an SDK, but designers are so core to Flex, because when you start building a product, it starts most often from product design tool such as Figma. So you start thinking about the design, and designers, they don't want to compromise with their design. They want to provide the best user experience for their customers. And we thought about them to ensure that Flex is flexible and customizable enough to solve all their use cases. And actually, I wanted to start digging into a use case we had. It was our first use case. It was a company named 𝗪𝗵𝘁. They started building a data product, and they worked with Figma, was their Figma design. And when they wanted to move from Figma to production, they encountered some limitations. So we started to discuss how it can be doable to solve these problems, and Flex was really the solution for them. Why? Because not just Flex helps them to build their data product very quickly, but also because they were able to use all the new core capabilities to build this product. And as an additional bonus, but they were very happy to have that, their designers was able to design from Figma something. So here it's a mock-up from Figma, and they were happy to see that the end result production was very close to what they wanted to achieve. And it's not so simple, because here, as you can see, we are not in a dashboard anymore. We are really building a data product. So they had to go beyond the dashboard canvas to build something a little bit more advanced for their users. So at the end, it was a great experience for their end users, for the developers using Flex, and for the designers who planned to build this tool. So I wanted first to share that with you. Now I really want to show you and not tell you anymore what is Flex. So you know what is Flex. You know why we are building Flex. You know for whom we build Flex. Now let's show you what is Flex and what you can do with Flex and what kind of problems you can solve with Flex. So what I will show you in the next few minutes is, because it's a code first product, I want to start from our developer documentation and the tools we have already built to help you. And then to show you some concrete applications built using Flex to help on building data products for end customers. So let's start with like I said, the developer documentation. So a few weeks ago, we released a very cool developer documentation with a lot of details about Flex. I will not go too much in details, but what I want to show is what is Flex. Flex is basically also a component. So if you are in context of Luzmo, if you know Luzmo, this component is quite familiar because you have a lot of properties you already know about. If you are not familiar with Luzmo, it's pretty straightforward as well. We have some properties regarding the authentication and the servers, as well as these 3 properties where basically you create the chart you want, the visualization you want programmatically using the options, the slots, and the type. So that's it. That's basically the component you need to use to start using Flex. Very simple. It's simple, but we really wanted to also provide a lot of examples to show you what you can do with Flex. So I will pick one by, I would say this one, why not? So here we are loading a chart. And if you want to change the theme, it's on the fly. So it's really very handy. And what we did for developers is that we are showing the code of this example. And you can also find all the tablets application by clicking on this link. So it's working for, I would say, quite a lot of examples. If you want to dig into the specifics, it's available on our developer documentation, and it can be very useful. If you want to dig into more details about Flex and each chart, you have also documentation for each charts we are supporting. And for each chart, you have a playground where you can test each property in your browser. So let's say that I want to change the theme. It should work. I want to change the mode. I have also some typings to help me. So it's pretty cool. And it works as well. So that's cool. You can test, and obviously you can copy paste that and start building your application right away. If you are a Luzmo user, or if you have if you are testing Luzmo, you can also log in and test with your own data sets. That's pretty useful. Let's now. So that's all the things we have on our developer documentation. You can find that at developer.luzmo.com. So feel free to have a look if you're interested in Luzmo documentation. Now I will show you some applications we built to demonstrate what you can do with Flex. So the first one is a report builder. So this one again here it's a customer-facing tool. So the idea of this tool is to offer an application, a data product, to end users to build very quickly some reports. It's inspired by the HubSpot report builder, and we built it during a hackathon internal hackathon in few days. So it's using Angular for details, and obviously Flex to generate and build the visualizations. So how it works, I will show you very quickly. You can choose the source of your report you want to use for the report. So here we pick, for instance, logistic. Why not? So here how it works also, it's using our API endpoints to load the data sets. So here it's loading the logistic data set. We have also an endpoint on our API to load the columns from this data set. And now let's use just an application, the application we built to, let's say, show the countries, the number of products per countries. So that's cool. What is interesting here to note is that this chart doesn't exist anywhere, because this chart is not in a dashboard. It has been created on the fly when I moved the categories and the measure. So it's really where Flex can be very useful, because if you don't know upfront what kind of charts you want to build, and when you are building a data project, it happens very often, you need to have a high level of flexibility. So that's what we demonstrate here. You have also some unsummarized and summarized data. So it's a table and a pivot table, so you can switch. But what is also super interesting and very cool with Flex is that because the chart doesn't exist anywhere, you can manipulate and customize this chart as you want. For instance, this is a cool visualization, but maybe it's not the best one. So let's try how it looks with a tree map. It's nicer. So let's keep this as visualization. And this is what you can offer to your end users, to have this flexibility to choose what kind of visualization, for instance, they want to use, and so on. Another thing I want to highlight here is the use of our AI endpoint. We have at Luzmo, we are working obviously a lot with AI, and we have an endpoint to generate a chart from a prompt. So it's using NLP. So if I'm writing number of products per country, I hope that it will work. But it works, cool. So it generates the charts, and now you can also obviously play with it and change it if you want. So that's also pretty cool if you want to start offering some NLP features to your customers. So that's and I didn't say that, but you can obviously save the report. You can come back and edit the report. Everything behind the scene with Luzmo is with the charts is using JSON schema, so pretty easy to manipulate and to use if you are a developer. Let's switch to another example. So this one, I want to show you here different benefits of Flex. So here we are in an application built for monitoring steps and sleeps and everything about your health. So here, what is interesting is that you have some components which are the charts, but you have also external other components. Here it's a totally custom component, and it's obviously using and it's filtering or it's changing the visualizations. You can have custom navigations with, for instance, some tabs, or you can even use our access control layer to change the charts you want to display to some users. Let's say that, for instance, here we are having the John report, the John data. If we are switching to team doesn't have sleep data, so we are joining in a different application. So we are not, again, in a dashboard. We are really in a data product here. And if I come back to John to have more visualizations, what you can see also with Flex is that Flex is fully responsive. I don't know if on the screen it's good enough, but what is also very cool, because sometimes when you are building data products or dashboards, you can encounter some issues with responsiveness, is that with Flex, you can think about a product which will work with tablets or mobile. That's pretty cool and useful. Another, and maybe the last one I want to show you is a feature basically we built again during the hackathon in few days. It's a chart library. So it's a feature when you want to provide flexibility and customization to your end users. It's a feature very often requested. How it works, let's say that we clear all the charts and we start from scratch. So you have pre-built charts. These charts have been built before in Luzmo, or it can be also defined with Flex, of course. And then you can add them. So let's say that I'm adding these charts, this one, and this one. Then you can offer flexibility of using a grid. So this is an application really very easily customizable. And because you have all the interactivity capabilities built in Luzmo, it works also with Flex. So if you are filtering something, it will filter all the different components. You can obviously save that. You can also resize to play a lot with look and feel. Flex is a front-end SDK, so you can manipulate and customize the different components very easily. So that's basically all I wanted to show you today. Let me come back to the slide for a short recap.
And Francois, before you jump in, we did have one last poll. I think now that you've illustrated a few use case examples, we wanted to launch one last poll to kind of gauge our last topic of interest. So this poll is, after you've seen what we've discussed here today, is which types of data products are you most interested in building with Luzmo Flex? And we encourage you to select all that apply.
Yeah, and what I want also to emphasize is that Flex is a SDK, so you can build really what you really want, what will provide value to your customers, to your end users, and we are building. So if you are going to luzmo.com/flex, there are a lot of showcases. Some of them I showed you today. Others are also on this page. And what we did is also we shared the GitHub links. So if you are a developer, product manager, or if you want just to understand how it has been built, the code is on GitHub for you to check.
Thanks, Francois. Looks like we've had a few votes submitted. It looks pretty even across the board, which is great to see. I think as the audience probably has learned from today's webinar, there are a variety of different needs this toolkit or software development kit can address. So it looks like personalized dashboards at 26%, the custom reporting tools, 26% as well. The interactivity with data visualizations, such as the health tracker you showcased at 20%, and then the real-time analytics and monitoring piece, such as the e-commerce example you showcased at 14%. So pretty even across the board, I'd say.
Nice, super interesting. So let's maybe recap before going to answer some questions. We talked about why we build Flex, what is Flex, for whom Flex, and what you can solve, what kind of problems you can solve with Flex. But just to repeat and to summarize, Flex is a code-first product. So it's really a SDK, front-end SDK, focused to complement the Luzmo offering. We can leverage all the Luzmo capabilities because they are available out of the box. So all the different features Westin mentioned to query, to store the data sets, to accelerate the data sets, to have an access control layer, all the features offered by Luzmo, it's working out of the box with Flex. So that's very important. And on top of that, the flexibility, obviously, and the customization. What we wanted really to build is a product you can use to build the application delivering value to your customers. So it has to be very customizable. It has to be something not just embedded, but integrated to your application, to your product. So here, that's why we added all the interactivity capabilities, why we added all this responsiveness and all the tools on our developer documentation to ensure that developers, project managers, and designers will be able to build the best experience for their end users. And I think that's pretty it for us.
Thanks, Francois. It looks like we have just under 10 minutes for questions. So again, everyone joining today's call, I encourage you to chat in and we can review those. So it looks like we have a couple already. Vic is asking, can we go over the AI generated feature again? We figured that one may be catching the audience's eye today. So Francois, I know we have plans to continue showcasing that in other forums, but would you like to showcase that again? Or Vic, is there any specific questions you have on that feature?
What we can do, Vic, is that we can. I can show you a bonus. So if you are still there after 35 minutes, you can also have access to a bonus about AI. I will show you another use case we have worked on, and it's really what I showed you embedded in the report builder, but here it's only it's a standalone application. So here it's a question you can ask to AI, and it will answer with a chart. So let's try. I clicked on the one by default. Obviously, it doesn't work. Otherwise, it would not have been fun. I will pick another one. Okay, so let's switch back to the reports builder to come back to the feature here. So how it works here. So I can just summarize what I showed. It's a prompt where you ask a question, and based on your metadata, so based on the columns, it will generate a chart. So that's why I'm writing number of projects per country, and it recognizes number of projects, country, and it adds what is making more sense to display a chart, and it's automatically creating a chart. So that's how it works. If you have more specific questions about AI or how it works behind the scene, we can obviously dig into it. But let's also check the other question about Lakshmi.
Yeah, thank you, Francois. So Lakshmi, we have a question. Charts Flex code, can they be directly inserted into their application?
Yes, that's the purpose of Flex. So if I come back very quickly to the code, it's this code. So it's a component. We are using web components. So you can, like I said, it's a front-end framework. So you can just use this component and use that in your own application. Definitely, it works out of the box. And
Excellent.
we have obviously on our documentation now we have all the details about the installation of the library and the package and things like that. But it's again pretty straightforward and quite generic way of installing the library.
Thanks, Francois. So we have Julian, the next question, and Stephanie had the same question as well. Is Flex a paid add-on, or is it included some of the pricing plans? Flex is currently a paid add-on. It's dependent on your current Luzmo setup, deployment, and your needs. So we do encourage you to reach out to either your dedicated commercial contact, account executive, CSM, or you can scan this QR code to get connected to us as well, or email hello@luzmo.com. I would highly encourage you. It's currently being under a feature flag, I would say it needs to be enabled. And so with this kind of deployment, I think I would highly encourage you to reach out for a conversation so we can help showcase, just due to, hence the name, flexibility and all the ways this can help you out. A follow-up conversation would likely be most appropriate.
And I think that we have another question about how to connect data. charts, so I can answer this one. So we are using obviously Luzmo, so our Luzmo dataset, because what you can do with Flex is to use your dataset IDs, so the dataset uploaded on a link to your Luzmo account, and then you will be able to use directly our query engine layer, which will help you to do all the visualization and work. So you don't have to write the queries. Queries are handled on the Luzmo side, and you can just connect your datasets to Luzmo and use them in the chart. If you are interested, I can show you very quickly how it works on the technical side to connect, because it's also available in our documentation, and it's very easy to understand. I mentioned the options customize, so you can customize all the options which are the visual or the design part of the chart, but you can also customize the slots. And here to customize the slots, you have some options, and part of the options you have the dataset ID, which refers to a dataset in the Luzmo account, and a column ID referring to a column in your dataset. So that's basically how it works.
Thanks, François. We had just one follow-up while we're on the same topic from 𝗪𝗁𝗁. Once you build out a chart using the embedded designer you showed, if a user saves that report or chart, where does that get saved?
So you can save it. Again, this application is built outside of Luzmo. So you use the Luzmo Flex to create the chart, but you can save it. When you are saving it, you are saving the configurations and all the JSON schema and all the details. And when the user is coming back to the application, you just have to load back all the configuration.
Excellent. And then we had one last question here: is AI chat also a pluggable code?
So AI, first, we are working a lot with AI. So we are building great products on AI, and we will probably share more in the near future. But what we have, how it works, the application I showed you, it works with AI endpoint. This AI endpoint is already documented in our documentation. So if you are going to our developer documentation, it's an endpoint, and this endpoint is usable outside of obviously Luzmo, and you can use Flex to generate the chart.
Great. Well, it looks like we have 3 more minutes left in the webinar, so just wanted to check the last call for any remaining questions. And of course, as mentioned before, I highly encourage you to reach out to your commercial contact or these other avenues to connect with us if you have further questions that weren't addressed during today's call. François and myself and my other CS peers would be more than happy to join a follow-up call to help illustrate how this can be beneficial to you and your needs.
And maybe as a last note, you can go to our, if you want to know more about Flex, you have the luzmo.com/flex landing page. And you have also the developer documentation, where you have access to all the different documentation and tools we built. So you can play with it. And like Westin said, if you have any questions or if you have any feedback about Flex, feel free to reach out. We'll be more than happy to dig into the specifics.
Thanks, François. I think that's all for questions today. Thank you all for joining our webinar. We're very excited about this new software development kit and deployment options for your data visualization builds. Again, please feel free to reach out following our call, and you can expect to receive a recording of this webinar shortly in the near future. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.